The Interview is a groundbreaking new talk show that showcases the most fascinating and influential people. Each week, I will be taking you on an hour-long visit with the stars you love and people by whom you will be inspired. So today, we're going to be focusing on some incredible people from the U.S., but they are Korean Americans. Are you curious who these two people are? Well, let's meet our first guest. A unique hairstyle and fashion. Who could this be? He debuted as part of the Korean wave idol duo Fly to the Sky, and now he's just as busy as a solo artist, Brian. A multi-talented singer, he MCs, models, and does musicals too. The singer with the voice and the looks, Brian. Let's meet him right now.
I have a pretty good idea what the show is about, and I know you guys. I did on TV's Interview, because I heard it's pretty much an up-close and personal interview. But today, luckily, I don't have an actual performance schedule, so I can keep talking, and it'd be perfect for the interview.
And you're the first guest for our program, the first guest.
I'm the first guest?
You didn't know that? How do you feel?
I'm honored.
Hi Brian, I'm Susan.
It's great meeting you.
Nice to meet you too. What a beautiful place.
So this is my humble abode, where I come to every day.
Wow,
Yes.
it's so serene. Wow, a beautiful place.
On the right, you see my kitchen.
Oh, what a great kitchen.
Thank you very much. It's a good size. I do enjoy cooking.
Wow, well look at this. Wow, I see that everything's color coordinated here, and also here, and just everywhere. It's like something's always in place somewhere?
Well, everything's in place where I feel that it belongs. For instance, right here is perfect because you have your coffee mugs by the coffee machine.
And this is your
This
wonderful
is
room.
my living room where I spend many nights with my dogs, watching TV, movies, video games. And one thing about me is I love candles, so if you notice throughout the house you see candles on.
Oh, we're going into everyone's dream.
This is what a lot of my friends love in my house is my closet.
Wow.
So right now, my goal for this room was to make it feel like I'm actually in a multi-shop for, clothes, cologne. Of course, I have all my colognes on display, kind of.
Nice.
And everything is in place where it should be. Pants, hoodies.
Well, everything's easy to
coats.
find, right?
Yes, I think that's the main thing. Everything's practical if you just keep it in the right places.
Yeah.
This is where I spend trying to come up with creative productions in my own music. So this is where I do a lot of my chatting with fans, friends, emails, and tweets and everything.
Fantastic.
Yep. And this is where I actually listen to a lot of my music and practice the songs that I have to actually learn for shows and new demos and stuff. So I have like files and files of songs that have never been released on this computer. So if I lose this thing, it is the end for me.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So before we continue, I wanted you to get a sneak peek of some of the songs.
Oh, I love that.
Even though the album's already out.
Yeah.
Just in case for the viewers, especially over 188 countries in the world.
That would be fantastic.
So this is my first single off this album.
This album reflects Brian's hope to reinvent himself through his new music and style. Brian, thank you so much for having us here in your home. I heard that this is the first time that you've ever allowed interviewers to come to your home.
This is actually the first interview in my house, yeah.
Oh, wow. Wow. Well, we are honored. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, we just listened to your album, and it's fantastic. And I noticed that you've also collaborated with a couple other artists. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
This time around, I actually collaborated with a lot of the artists I've always wanted to work with in this country, especially Tiger J.K., he was the first rapper that came to mind. I was like, all right, this is probably a
Nice.
song he'd probably like. And I sent him the demo. I asked him what he thought and his thoughts on it. He loved it. Immediately he told me this was a great record. And
I love
not
it.
only, oh, thank you very much. Not only did he love the song and feature on the song, he actually wrote the Korean lyrics as well.
Oh, he
for the song.
did? Oh, fantastic. So not only singing together, but he was able to do the hangul for it, too.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. And so with this album, what are some of your hopes with this album in the future?
I have the same hopes for every single album I release. I don't make music for people where they'll hear me and just go, oh, yeah, Brian's a singer. I actually want to make music for people all over the world, especially me being Korean American. You know, a lot of the Asian artists right now are trying to break into the U.S. or European market.
Yes.
And I guess that's kind of what I was aiming for with this album too, because there's only 2 Korean tracks on the whole album, and 4 tracks are all in English. So I got the idea that if I do this, people from overseas who don't understand Korean, who still like K-pop, can somewhat, you know, relate to what I'm talking about in the songs, you know, because most of the fans that I get emails from, they're always like, we love your music, we love the vibe, the only problem is we don't understand what you're talking about. So I figured since I speak English, why not do English versions of the songs that I choose would be best for promoting myself as an artist.
Definitely. Well, as a Korean American, I see that there are a lot of Korean American artists or people who want to be K-pop stars or want to get into this business. And it seems like there is that influx as opposed to even 10 years ago. What do you think it was about you at that time that made it that made you kind of stand out? Because it's kind of a unique story, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't say there was an actual thing about me that made me stand out at that time. For me, I feel like I'm just one of those lucky guys, you know, a needle in a haystack, who luckily was found, and you know, I had the opportunity to come out to Korea and do my music career, 13 years, and hopefully keep going. And yeah, I mean, I thank the people who believed in me, who helped me out in the beginning. And yeah, I mean, I don't think there's actually one thing that made me stand out from other people, but you know, I guess it's the passion that I had for the music in the beginning, and I just wanted to do different things. You know, everybody wants to do different things. But for me, I've always wanted to work in the States as well. And at that time, I felt, you know, the States wasn't ready for an Asian American celebrity to make it out in that country. So came to Korea, got lucky, signed with a huge label in the beginning, and
Your former group, yes,
Flight of the
called
Sky.
Flight of the Sky.
Yes.
So that's a group that you formed in when? 99?
The group was actually formed in '98 because that's when I first auditioned, and the group name was already, you know, set up for us and everything. But we didn't debut until '99. Yeah.
So before actually auditioning for the show, were you not for the show, for your
The group,
your
yeah.
group? Were you looking to be part of a boy band, and how did that come about? Because you were living in New Jersey at the time, right? So was there an audition process in New Jersey?
Actually, when I was back at home in Jersey, I had no clue on how to, you know, get connected with Korean labels and stuff. So I got really lucky because one of my closest friends right now, she's in LA. I need to give her a shout out, Grace. But yeah, when we were younger, we went to church together. Her parents and my parents were close friends. And she went to New York one time, and New York has a huge Korean population.
Yes.
And she was in K-Town, and she saw a flyer, and on the flyer it said something about, do you want to be a Korean pop star? And she took the number that was on the flyer. Now, first off, even though she wanted to be a singer as well, and she was a very talented singer herself, she knew it was one of my biggest dreams to, you know, become a singer. And so without even telling me, she takes the flyer, signs me up on some site as if she was me. So she put my name down, my address, my everything about me.
Oh, wow.
And then one day I get a phone call from the casting director, and he's like, are you Brian Ju? I'm like, yes, I am. He goes, okay, well, I'm in New Jersey. I was like, so who are you? I don't know. I had nothing, you know, she didn't tell me anything in advance.
Oh, wow.
So
Complete surprise.
this phone call to me was very random, and I had no clue what was going on. And then he just goes, do you know a girl named Grace Pei? I was like, yeah, I know Grace Pei. Well, her name's on here for a referral number. I was like, can I call you right back? So I called Grace. I was like, Grace, do you know a guy named Gary Boone? She's like, yeah. I was like, how do you know? I was like, I only just called him. She goes, oh, he called? I was like, yeah. She goes, oh my gosh, I forgot to tell you. I said, what? I signed you up for an audition.
Oh, wow.
I was like, would have been great if you told me about it, just to prepare for something, you know? And then I was so unprepared. And the fact that he called me made me so nervous that I didn't know what to do. I was like, should I call him back? No, should I call him back? But he's in New Jersey visiting from Washington, D.C., so I was like, all right, fine, I call him back. And I wasn't sure if it's like a prank call, if, you know, someone joking around.
Yeah, because it sounds too good to be
Exactly.
true, just randomly out of the blue.
And someone just called me out of, out of the blue. So I asked his name again, and I looked online, and everything he told me, you know, matched. You know, all the artists he's actually casted for Korea in the past were there. So I was like, okay, where would you like to meet? And he got a hotel in Atlantic City, at one of the casinos. So since it's only a 5-minute drive from my house, I told him I'd meet him at his casino room, whatever, hotel room. So me and my dad go out there, and he's like, do you have anything prepared? And at the time I was with my friend as well, and his dream was to be a singer too. So me and him both sat there, we sang songs that we felt would best suit ourselves, and we danced a little. And then he wanted to hear us speak Korean, so, and at that time my Korean wasn't all that great, but I did what I had to do. He's like, all right, well, I'll be in touch. It was great meeting you guys. And he looked disappointed as I was walking out of the room, because I guess he thought that I was the one who signed up for my own audition, and he's thinking, oh, this kid's not even prepared.
Oh.
So I really had no hopes, and I felt, oh, it was a disaster. I'm not getting a call back. That's what I thought.
Wow.
So we go back to my place, week passed, and after the first week, I get a phone call from Gary Boone again, and he's like, Brian, he goes, yes, I have a label who wants to see you. I was like, really? He goes, yeah. And of course, since I went with my friend, I was like, what about my friend? He's like, nobody wants to see him. I was like, ah. Oh. So,
that's kind
of course,
awkward.
yeah, very awkward, because I don't want to be the one to break the bad news to my friends. So I called Grace and I told her the news, and I was like, thanks to you, I have the Korean label who wants to see me. And at the time, I was so into HOT. And I was praying and praying and praying it would be the same label as them. And so I called the casting director, and I was like, so what label wants to see me? He was like, I can't tell you. I'm going to surprise you. I said, okay. So like, when do they want to see me? He goes, all right, winter break. Are you good to go? And of course, I was thinking, I don't have any money. I'm in high school. What do I do? He goes, no, the label wants to pay for your plane ticket, your accommodations, and everything. I was like, wow.
Score.
But till this day, my parents did not want me to be in the entertainment business at all.
Oh, so they were opposed to your going into the business.
Yes. But my dad, once he heard that a big label wanted to see me and paying for all my, accommodation, flight, and everything, he was like, go for it. It'd be a free vacation either way. It's like, okay. My first experience, I was 98 to go to Korea.
Okay.
Met the label, finally found out it was the same label as HOT, and I was ecstatic. I couldn't, I was like a little kid in a candy shop.
That's incredible.
I was so nervous, but at the same time so excited. I was like, I kind of felt like I was on top of the world. You know? I called my parents, like, how was in Korea? I was like, I was young, so I was like, Mom, I'm going to be a star, like that kind of thing.
That's incredible. Wow.
Yeah.
I'd like to kind of switch over to talking about your being kind of tech savvy and really into tweeting and Facebook messaging.
Yes.
Because you've got a huge fan base that really follows you through Facebook and Twitter and possibly other things like Vidi. And maybe we can post up a couple of questions that some of the fans might want to ask you.
Sure.
And then once they come in, we can answer some of those.
Cool.
Yeah.
Alrighty, let's see. What should I say? Hoping you guys can ask me any, creative question. Now.
Can you repeat what you just asked or
You
tweeted?
do. Oop, one typo. There we go. I wrote, doing an interview on the spot called Interview at my house, and hoping you guys can ask me any creative questions now. That way, the fans can actually put it up as soon as possible. So now just wait.
So as we continue to answer and me asking you questions and you answer, we'll probably just see like a slew of questions
Hopefully.
from the fans. Wow. So what is it like with social networking now? I mean, that must have really changed the music business in some ways.
Oh, it has.
As well as your fan base. Tell us a little bit about that.
I think because of Facebook and Twitter, that's why more people globally can actually know about Korean celebrities and listen to K-pop music more. I'm actually sad that the Twitter and Facebook wasn't made back in '99, because nowadays all the K-pop stars, the younger K-pop stars, are sensations in other countries because the internet's so advanced.
Yes.
And I'm still, I've been in the game for a while now. I mean, I'm not completely dying out or anything compared to the
Definitely not.
kids. But at the same time, if the internet was as advanced back then it is now, I feel that my fan base would be more spread all over the world. And and I just use that to update all my shows and interviews and all my schedules, and pretty much it's like a personal relationship that I keep with my fans. I actually do little chat sessions through Twitter, or
Great.
Fans will write on my Facebook wall and I actually reply to them.
So you're the actual one who does all the tweeting
Yes.
and Facebooking.
A lot of people, I have friends in the business who have admins helping them out on their
Yes.
sites and stuff like that. But me, yes, for the viewers right now, I do everything myself. And I guess the main reason why I want to be personal with my fans is when I was younger, I still love this artist. I can't say she is somebody who tries to brush off her fans, but, I still support her.
Oh, I want to know who this is.
I don't want to badmouth her because, I'm not badmouthing you, because you are still somebody I look up to, Janet Jackson.
It's time to give a damn, let's work together.
Janet Jackson is still one of my ultimate favorite artists out there.
Me too.
And I remember when I was in 6th or 7th grade.
I loved her
bought-
Rhythm Nation.
That's the album I was
Oh,
talking
really?
about. I
I
bought
love
her
that album.
cassette tape,
Yes.
and for my birthday, my dad bought me a Walkman. And every day to school, in the bus, I would listen to her album. And then they always have those fan club official website,
Right.
whatever information. So I actually wrote a letter, handwritten letter to Janet Jackson.
And you were in 6th grade?
6th or 7th grade,
Aw.
and I said how much I loved her, how much one day I'd love to meet her in person, and my dream back then was to be her back dancer.
That's awesome.
And so then I sent it in, not expecting anything to come back from her. And finally, my mom calls me after school. She's yelling at my name out. She's like, "Oh, you got something in the mail?" I was like, "I did? 6th grader? Who gets mail in 6th grade?" So
Very
I get
cute.
this, those huge yellow confidential envelope type letters.
Oh,
I
wow.
open it up. It's like, what is this? And there's a picture of Janet Jackson.
Wow.
And I was like, oh my gosh, Janet wrote back to me.
So she actually wrote back to you.
That's what I thought.
Oh.
And then I flipped the picture around, but it was a typed out letter with a stamp of a signature instead of a real signature.
Oh.
And that broke my heart. When I was at a young age, I was like, wow. I took the time out to write out a handwritten letter to somebody I looked up to, and in return I get a stamp. So at that moment I was mad and upset and I hated myself for loving her, but then, now that I'm an artist myself and I know what goes on in the business, I don't blame her at all. She only did what she had to do, or her admins or her staff. But I follow her on Twitter too as well, and she's always updating and stuff like that. And she was the main reason why I wanted to be more personal with my fans. And
now K-pop is such a huge industry, that Korean wave or the
Yeah.
Hallyu, and
it's
you're a
a
big
shock
part
to
of
me
that.
still, because I'll be where was it? Oh, it was back in New Jersey. I was visiting my parents, and a few friends of mine and I wanted to go to Six Flags. And on our way up there, I was just tweeting, having a good moment with friends and family, going to Six Flags, and going to ride some roller coasters. Can't wait. And I guess one of my fans in New Jersey saw that tweet, and we're walking around the park for about an hour and a half, and all of a sudden my friend goes, turn around. I was like, why? He goes, there's this girl holding your CD. I was like, you're lying, right? At Six Flags in New Jersey? So I turned around, and there's this fan holding, she wasn't even Korean. She was holding a CD,
Oh,
and
wow.
she just looked kind of, not shocked, but I was hoping she'd come up to me and say something, but usually that kind of thing throws me off as well. If I see a fan and they don't open their mouths or say anything to me, that makes me nervous. I'm like, what do I do or say? And then she just goes, finally I found you. I was like, wow, are you here alone? She goes, yeah. I was like, well, thank you for coming out here. And it's like, and she told me she was searching for me for 45 minutes around the amusement park, just running
my
around looking for me.
goodness.
She bumped into me finally, and then the least I could do for her was I signed an autograph, gave her a hug, took pictures with her.
Oh, that must have really made her day.
It was, made my day too. I was like, wow, of all places near my hometown, there's a fan listening to my music who isn't even Korean.
Wow.
So I was like, wow, that is an amazing feeling.
From Seoul to Six Flags, Brian's fans are many. We can definitely say he's a true Korean wave K-pop star.
Bungee jumping, it's not scary in the beginning because you don't know what to expect. But it's always scary the second time. All the air just goes in and you can swear, say all these bad things, but nothing comes out because you're just, you know, breathing everything in. Dude, the second time took me about 20 minutes to jump because I realized, crap.
You know, I went skydiving for the first time ever.
That's something I'll never do. Now, one of my fears in life are planes. The worst experience for me was my first time going back home to visit my parents. My friend actually was like, hey, you should watch the TV show. You know, I have the pilot on DVD. I was like, okay, what is it? It's like Lost. But at that time, it was the first time I actually saw the pilot. And the first scene in the pilot is a plane crash. And this is 2 hours before I have to actually board or go to the airport.
Oh my gosh, that's the worst movie to see. That's the worst thing to see before.
Yeah, I was shaking. I was, you know, cold sweats, and I'm on the plane. And of course, the vision of me experiencing this plane going down was the only thing I can think of at the moment.
Actually, we met at a Kalbu place about 3 years ago after for a going away party for a friend of ours at church, and that's where I met him at. I like sticking around with him just because he seems fairly just down to earth, just like your normal guy. Not trying to. You'll find a lot of other people that'll throw their fame in your face, and he's not that way. But he had a show in Japan, and so he actually flew me to Japan and had me just hang out with him for the weekend. And that was really nice, and I went to go pay for it. He's like, well, happy birthday, because it was my birthday the next week. So that was really cool of him, so I'm thankful for that. You better thank me for taking care of your dog sometime and cleaning up after them.
So Brian, let's take a look at some of the possible Twitter fans.
The tweets.
Here, the tweets.
Let's see. It says over 99.
Over 99.
Not sure if they're all questions. It could be comments as well.
Okay.
Okay, we have one from Manila, Philippines. Her name is Sarah Pascasio.
Okay.
Have you ever been in love with an older woman? And what is the craziest thing that you did when you were in middle school? And do you like painting? Oh, so there's 3 questions.
So 3 questions. Greedy.
Okay, Sarah. Let's see. Have I ever dated an older woman? Actually, no. I don't think I've ever actually dated anyone older than me yet.
Well, isn't that the trend nowadays? Like for older women and younger men?
Shoot,
and
I didn't know
men?
there's a trend in dating, but me, everyone I've dated were either the same age as me or a few years younger so far. So that's one of your questions answered. Okay. What is the craziest thing that you ever did in mid-school? Craziest thing I did in mid-school. Craziest thing I did in mid-school.
Now, were you a good boy, or did you really misbehave?
I was half and half.
Yeah.
I had great grades. It's just I was rebellious in ways where I didn't always want to do what my parents wanted me to do. So I'd always stay up late and sneak out of the house. That's probably what it is. I'd actually. So my dad was very strict, and he wouldn't let me and my brother watch TV even on the weekdays.
Really?
It was literally right after school, come home, do our homework, have dinner, do more homework if we have, or extra credit reports and stuff like that. So the craziest thing I would do, and my parents probably know this by now, was on a school night. I snuck out and went to my friend's house. That's probably the craziest thing I did in
Oh my
mid
goodness.
school.
Now, were you caught? What happened when you
Never
came
got
back
caught.
home?
That's why I'm saying it carefully, because if my parents actually watched a lot of shows in Auditioning.
Yes.
So my
Well,
mom
they will
and
most likely
dad-
see this one.
Yeah, I'll probably be going back to New Jersey at the age of 31, getting beat down by my dad. Yes, I'm scared right now.
Be prepared. And what was the last one? Is
do you like painting?
Okay.
Actually, art is a big part of my life. I won a lot of art awards back in middle school.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you've always had a bit of creativity kind of in your blood. Now,
I think it comes from both my parents, though.
Really?
My dad was one of his hobbies were like carpentry, so he'd actually wake me up on a weekend at 6 o'clock in the morning, and we'd sit in the garage making like bookshelves and shoe shelves and stuff like that.
Wow.
My mom, I've said this a few times before, and my mom hates it when I talk about it, but she actually released a single when she was 17 years old in Korea.
So your mother was a singer too?
Just for about 3 or 4 months, and then she, her and my grandparents went to the States, met my father, and got married.
Wow.
So she never actually fulfilled her full dream of becoming a singer when she was younger. And I think that's the main reason why my mom and dad don't want me to be a singer, because my mom didn't have the greatest experience.
I see. So Brian, I hear that you have a filming right afterwards.
I do.
Okay. And what is that about?
Today, actually, luckily, it's not a singing schedule, unfortunately. I know a lot of the viewers probably want to see me sing today, but if it was a singing day, I would not have you guys here because I wouldn't talk much and be boring for an interview.
I see.
So luckily today, you guys are going to follow me to a show where I actually get to taste food.
Oh.
So about like the Korean word 맛집 type of thing, you know.
Great.
So
we're going to get to watch you eat.
Yes, you're going to get to
One of
see
your
me
favorite
do
things to
what
do.
I love to do, which I need to stop doing. So,
Well, we would love to follow you to your
you're more than
맛집.
welcome to.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, let's go then.
Let's go.
We followed Brian to another shooting schedule at a restaurant near Ewha Women's University. When I arrived on location, many of Brian's fans were already there, crowding around the restaurant to catch a glimpse of their favorite superstar. As a foodie, I could tell that this was less work and more pleasure for Brian. And still I could see his professionalism through it all. Brian, a talented musician, fun to talk with, down to earth, super real. He loves his fans and is a great friend. We wish him all the best with his new album and his future endeavors. So we met with Brian, and here we are at our next guest's favorite burger joint. He's another singer of another genre known as the king of R&B here in Korea. Are you curious to find out who he is? Let's go meet him.
Hello!
Our next guest is Kim Johan. Known as the king of R&B in a country where R&B seemed to have no place, Kim Johan. Solid has since disbanded, but Kim Johan has continued to sing as a solo artist while proving himself as a songwriter and a producer. Let's meet him right now. So everyone knows you here in Korea. I mean, almost every single sentient being here knows who you are because you are known as the king of R&B. And having been in the States and just returning, I see that there's this new show called I'm a Singer.
Yeah, I'm a singer.
Wow. So can you tell me a little bit about your participation and involvement with
Well,
that show?
they actually finished the first season. And
Okay.
they're working on season 2 right now. And I got called right about in the middle of the show, maybe a little bit after a couple months. And then I had a lot of friends, other singers that are actually in the show, like Lina Park and Kim Bum-soo, Yoon Do-hyun. And
So these are all actual professional recording artists in the show.
That's one of the different things about this show is there's many like different kind of survival shows, variety shows, but this show actually happened to be a show where actually real singers with real careers came out and competed against each other.
That's really adventurous and
Yeah,
risky.
it's you know it just really it puts your life on the line. You
Yeah.
know, like why would you risk it? That's what people said to me. But after I saw a couple singers come out, I said, you know what? Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? Why not just go do it? You know, when I first saw the show, I was actually sort of stressed out. It's like, wow, my friends, my other singers, they're competing. How can you actually compete with music, especially when it's all art, when it's all beautiful? Everybody does. I mean, it's such a professional gig, such a professional show that everybody just sings so well. The music is so good, and the amount of money that they spent on just the whole production is just really insane. And when I saw that, I was like, what's going on? But after that, I got over that, and I said, hey, this looks sort of fun. Maybe we'll give it a shot. And so that's how I ended up on the show.
I Am a Singer is a singing competition program on NBC. For each show, 7 professional recording artists sing various songs in front of an audience who later cast votes for their favorite singer. The singer with the lowest number of votes is then eliminated from the program. For professional recording artists, getting kicked off the show is, well, not good. But through this show, Kim Johan was able to win the hearts of many, by breaking away from his prior melodic and softer style and showed off a more powerful, whole new side of himself. Yeah, I was going to ask you, because you're known as being a perfectionist with your singing, and how was it for you in preparation for these songs that you may not be familiar with, and how did you feel about your performances?
Well, wasn't really ever, I was actually happy once.
Yeah.
That week I got 4th place, but it was to the point where I felt the music very deeply. And it's actually hard to feel the music when you have like 500 people in front of you that aren't really there to just enjoy the music. They're there to criticize you and give you, a ranking. And so you just really have to know how to just not even think about that and just get yourself into the music and feel the music. But that was a really great show for me. It was like bigger than the show for me. It was an experience. One of the bad things about my experience is I think I got to learn the music system. You know, every
Yes.
concert hall has a different system.
Right, like the sound system?
Yeah, the sound
what you
system.
mean? Yeah.
I got to learn the sound system after I left.
Oh.
Yeah, because it's like I wasn't on stage for like actually a couple of years, and that was my biggest stage for a while. And then actually after I started to like get in the groove, it's when
So with you and your career so far, I mean, you've had a really long career here in Korea. This I'm a Singer show has really brought you back into the limelight in almost a way that has revitalized your career, yes?
Well, I mean, I think what happened lately is in the last 10 years of the Korean music industry, there was only idol-oriented music market.
And when you say, I'm sorry, when you say idol-oriented, what does that mean?
Well, I think it means basically most of the fans that were actually listening to the music were around under 20 years old. And most of the music that's been produced was usually boy bands,
I see.
or girl groups, which are great because I actually train a lot of them myself.
Okay.
And actually I'm making some also myself. But what happened is some of, just like the pure vocalist, some of this artists, like guys who write their songs. I mean, most of these idol groups, they're like produced by companies.
I see.
They don't write their own songs. They don't really have actually input on any of the music. They're actually basically sort of a lot of times they're told what to do, and that's the product that comes out, and that's great. I mean, for a certain audience. But I think there was an overflux in that industry, and what happened is, in the music industry, whatever makes money is what's going to be going to be made. And with that happening, a lot of the singers, myself included, we would actually have to think about how this market would accept our music.
I see. Wow.
If it's just too deep, too sad, too musical, people's ears is just wouldn't be able to like actually understand the music. And also a lot of times the broadcast stations, since this kind of music's the most popular lately, that's the kind of shows they have. And so, it's like you have a show that has 10 idol singers, and then you have me come out where I'm just going to sing a ballad. So it sometimes wouldn't match, and that's what happened to the market for the last 10 years.
I see.
And with this show brought out a lot of just the original singers, musicians, actually just a lot of what Korean music is about. Like for me, I'm not 20 anymore, so just actually having someone with more experience, and actually I believe singing becomes a reflection of your life and how you've lived. And the more you live, the more different your music's going to be. And I think through this show, it changed the market.
We interviewed with Brian Ju, one of your friends, and after the show we saw that you'd actually sent him a text.
Oh yeah, I saw a Twitter, and it's basically asking me any questions, right? Mine was a little late.
I'm sorry that we missed it at the time, so what did you ask him?
I said, who is your biggest musical influence besides me? It's a joke.
No, I'm sure that not only have you influenced him, but you've influenced other people too.
It's a joke, you know. He's a good guy. So.
Well, then, can I reverse the question back to you? Who would be your greatest influences?
There's so many. I
Yeah.
mean, like growing up, my father would sing in church, and all you could really hear is his voice because it was really good. I mean, I think that had a big part of my childhood.
Were you
My
ever in
sister-
the choir?
No, never in the choir. They wouldn't let me be in the choir because they said I couldn't sing.
Really? They said you couldn't sing.
Yeah, because we had a really small church and they needed singers, so they all brought everybody in and they, okay, you don't sing. Okay, I'm gonna go out and play.
I bet they're eating their words now.
Yeah, I bet you that was really funny. And it's like, wow, that guy, you know, he became a singer. Yeah, but that and who else? I mean, besides like Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye, I mean, Aretha Franklin, I mean, everybody, you know, the Beatles. I mean, like, come on, it's just great music everywhere. You know, Sting, I love Sting. Everybody is just a huge musical influence to me. India, Ari, like, all these people, it's just great. It's not just about the singing, it's about the music, you know, so in all genres, everybody's great.
Fantastic. I became curious about how Johan became the Korean king of R&B and how his childhood in America might have influenced his music.
What's going around?
So with some of the struggles that you've had, and I think that it's really insightful to know that just because you're successful doesn't mean that it came easily. So going back, you know, into your youth, what do you think it was about your youth, or tell us a little bit about your childhood?
I was a little different from all of my family. My sister was like a pianist, and she would practice about 8 hours a day.
Oh my goodness.
Because the reason why she went to America is my family went to America. I was born in America, and it's because of her piano.
Oh, so they immigrated specifically for her?
Yeah, because they said she needs to have a really great pianist teacher. I think only in America you could get that quality, they said back then. And then I was born in America. I basically played under the piano all day.
You played under the piano?
Yeah, while my sister would play. You know, I was
Oh,
a little
wow.
baby, so, you know, I'd be under the piano just playing. And I think those classical melodies were just so deeply rooted in all my youth. I think that's probably one of the biggest things in my life that allowed me to be a singer, a musician, and what allowed me to be actually a vocalist was actually my sister's love of music. They would listen to the Beatles. They would listen to all the music, and I mean, I was a young kid. I would just listen to what they would turn on.
And with your family immigrating specifically to the U.S. for music, it must be that your family had just a great love of music and a belief in your sister as well.
Yeah,
Yes.
I didn't realize this until after, later in life, is, you know, my father really loved music. And I think he had the musical bone, the musical structure and everything, but he's never had opportunity. You basically taking care of your family. I think that it's like one of the main reasons why music actually had a chance to flow is because of our parents. And, you know, they took the sacrifices so that we could do music.
How was it for your family adjusting to life in the
Well,
South?
there weren't many Koreans. We were like probably the first Koreans to be there. And, you know, like there's a lot of Koreans everywhere now. But back then we were like the first, and it's hard. I mean, I would look at my parents and they would take, you know, they'd work. And they didn't even speak English. They learned how to speak a little bit of English, and back then, I mean, it's like an Asian family. Like, what are they? They would always say, "What are you?" I'm like, "I'm Korean." They're like, "What? You Chinese?" Nope. Korean. What?
Yeah.
What's that? Japanese? Nope. They just don't. Nobody knew what Korea was, and it was to the point where I was my family was the only Asian at the school, and so, you know, we just went along. You know, we went along, and
Was it difficult with
I mean, when we moved
being in the
around,
South?
sometimes it was dangerous. Sometimes,
Yeah.
because I mean, you know, when you're in the South, there's a lot of people who don't think greatly of, only their race is good.
Yes.
And
Any particularly difficult moments?
oh yeah. I mean, sometimes you got to run. you learn how to avoid the fire, and sometimes you have to put the fire out yourself. You have to fight your own fight sometimes. And even to this day, like sometimes in the schoolyard or wherever it may be, you have to do what you do. And sometimes you're alone, and realize that you got to stand up for yourself. And a lot of times, but that's what builds character. And I'm really thankful for what I had. And if I didn't have that, I don't know if I'd be here right now.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, actually, why don't we head to a place that's really close? It's actually upstairs. It's what I call a home away from home.
Fantastic.
It's a place where I go and just listen to music and just write music sometimes. And,
Oh, great.
That we can check my pad out.
Okay, sounds great. Well, I know we're in your favorite burger joint, and I'm a little hungry. Do you mind if we eat a little before we go upstairs?
Yes, burgers. Yes, this is the place, and burger. Let's go and have some great food.
Okay, fantastic.
My favorite
3 o'clock late lunches are the norm in Johan's busy schedule. And we took that opportunity to eat some juicy burgers. His favorite one being the egg and bacon burger. Mine was the Hawaiian. We had a great time chowing down.
All right, well, here we go.
Great.
This is the place I was talking about. I come here and I write music. I come to just clear my mind.
This is a great place. I can see why you kind of be inspired.
Yeah, you can sit here. I have a guitar right here. I
Oh,
sit down and
wow.
write, and I have my favorite fermented drink. And
Nice.
then just sometimes watch TV and do things.
Yeah, I can see why this is just a really relaxing pad. Like I feel like music's just kind of coming to me now too.
Yeah.
So with your music composition, give us a little insight into what you do to prepare to get into the mood.
It just comes out every once in a while. It's like sometimes I'll be sleeping and then I'll have a dream that I wrote a song. And then I know I wrote a good song, and I'll wake up from the dream and just record it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Sometimes I'll be out maybe fishing or at the market. You never know. It just comes out at different times. So I always have a handy recorder next to me, and I note everything because once it's gone, it's gone.
Wow.
You forget, it's because it's not written down.
And I would love to hear you playing an instrument and singing a little something. Would you mind sharing a little bit of your talent with me
Well,
and everyone else?
Well, why not?
Oh, great. That's a beautiful guitar.
Actually, that's my guitar.
Oh, wow.
One came as a custom, but
Wow. Beautiful.
I see the crystal raindrops fall, and the beauty of it all is when the sun comes shining through. Just the two of us. We can make it if we try, just the two of us. You and I. Anyways, it goes sort of
That's
like
so
that.
great.
Just having a good time.
Oh, I'm actually trying to hold back some tears.
No, you wanted to sing too, right?
No.
5, 6, 7, just the
two of us.
us. We can make it if we try, just the two of us.
Just the two of us.
Just the two of us. Building castles in the sky, just the two of us. You and I. Wow, there you go.
Well, John, you've shared so much about your music philosophy, your life, your thoughts on everything, and I wanted to take this time to surprise you with a very good friend of yours
Really?
who's visiting the set. Yeah.
Ooh, here?
Yeah.
Ooh, somebody's been doing their homework.
So I'd like to welcome one of your friends. Danny
Wow.
Jung. Hi, Danny.
Hey!
Here's Danny Jung, the famous contemporary jazz musician. So tell me about what you think of when you think of Johan.
I see Johan as an innovator.
No profanity.
Hold on, let me finish.
No profanity.
I'm speaking from my heart. Okay, so I see Johan as an innovator. I see someone who a pioneer in this culture and introducing a new genre of music, a new way of musicality and he's not only a great singer, but he's a great producer, and also he's a great friend. But and you need all these elements to become a great artist, because without that, then pretty much you're just doing it. You're just doing it for no reason. But he's definitely Johan has a dream, and he has his vision, and I share that vision, and that is why I guess that's why we're friends. And
the funny thing is, I met Danny through his music first.
Okay.
And we didn't know each other, but I'm sure for musically wise, we knew each other. But actually having to work with him, and just, I think time tells, and the amount of passion you put into your music is very, very is a determining factor of how much you respect an artist. I mean, I know a lot of great artists there that don't work. They don't work. They don't really do anything. They don't really try.
So they're not working at their craft.
Yeah, some of them are some people are just born with it. I mean, they're born with it that they don't have to do anything. Others are born with it. They work hard. But one of the things is, one thing I like about Danny is he actually pushes me to work harder at my craft.
So there's a synergy with you guys.
Yeah.
So as friends and as musicians, you inspire each
Oh
other.
yeah. The funny thing is, when we get together, we talk about musical gear, like instruments and pianos and microphones and cables, and it's just
love to make our music go to the next level.
Yeah. And so people sit there and nobody's having any fun except us. We're like, yeah, man, did you see the new cables that came out? Anyway, cables, what?
So like music nerds, right?
Yeah,
like
music
he's
nerds,
talking about like
Stuff
computer
that
stuff.
normal people wouldn't notice, but it's that 1% that means everything to us. And that's the fine line that discerns the pros from the pros that the public thinks.
Well, definitely we'll have to maybe think of something where we can have the two of you together in the future.
Maybe next week.
With you
Yes.
too.
Yes.
I heard you sing
That's
on the
right.
way up here.
Oh,
Was that you?
That
Yes.
that was probably a horn blaring
That
outside.
was amazing.
No. Wow. Well, you guys flatter me too much, and I can tell that because you guys are so comfortable with one another, it's easy to be able to exchange ideas and talk about just things that really matter to you. And as people who really hone in on your craft, which is so commendable, it must be great to have people that you can really bond with on that level, because not everyone is at this professional level like the two of you are.
Actually understanding a lot that's going around. I mean, especially with shows, being in public eye and public eye, and actually, doing music. It's actually a small percentage of people actually do that, and a small percentage, and actually people who actually understand the good parts and the bad parts. The hardships, and actually having just friends there, a support system. I mean, that you're lucky if you do, and it's always good. We always talk about things.
Awesome.
Yes.
Well, Johan, thank you so much for coming on to our show today.
I had a great time.
And this is our first show of INNERview here at Arirang, and we're very honored for you to be here and
Thank you very
and to really represent the Korean Americans. The two of us, the two of you, and three of us too.
A new culture.
Yes, definitely.
I'm really flattered that you asked me to do the show. So
Well, there's a lot of people supporting George's dream and vision. Me being one, and you being another, and just all the listeners and viewers of this TV show. So I hope to see a lot more coming.
Definitely.
In the future.
Great. Thank you guys so much. So on this, our inaugural show of the INNERview, I've had the incredible opportunity to meet with two talented and successful Korean American recording artists. And now I see why their careers are as long as they've been, due to their inner strength. Thank you so much for joining me today, and we welcome you to another time here on the INNERview.